He withheld exculpatory DNA evidence. The attempted apology coming as Naifong is set to appear before the state bar today. But will that apology stave off a lawsuit? And could the Durham DA face criminal charges for his behavior? The accuser, too, could still be in some legal trouble. How? Well, let's ask former federal prosecutor Michael Wilds, who is also the mayor of Englewood, New Jersey. Mayor, thanks for being with us.
My pleasure. Good morning.
Let me start with that last question that I just raised, the accuser. The state attorney general said at a press conference on Wednesday, look, we're not going to charge her with a crime, even though potentially one might be available, because essentially her medical history leads us to believe it's not in the interest of justice. She's got some mental health issues. Could the feds step in and do it?
To charge the prosecutor in a case like this?
No, the accuser. To charge the accuser with making false charges, making a false statement, that kind of thing.
I think that that would be under the perjury rules and very appropriate. There was no actual evidence here of physical restraint or assault that was brought forward. That being the case, everything was on her testimony, which was challenged left and right. So frankly, I do think that the alleged victim here is not only not credible, but vulnerable to prosecution if an examination of her testimony could be challenged, or if somebody could establish that there was actually a conspiracy perhaps with the prosecutor who was up for election to cultivate or cull out facts that just were not appropriate. But the answer is absolutely, everything here has to be structurally integral. Not only does a victim have to be truthful, but the process has to be vetted too.
Right. And just as an FYI, we were showing video of the second dancer, Kim Roberts. That was not the accuser, just for clarification. Okay, let's get to Naifong. He's fighting to maintain his law license. Could he face criminal charges? Some are pushing, including Congressman Jones from the area in Durham, is pushing to have Attorney General Gonzalez of the Justice Department at the federal level step in and charge this guy with violating the three defendants' civil rights. Do you think it's going to happen?
Well, I think that the effort of an elected official to step in for a district attorney who was accused of pushing a case despite the facts while he was up for election is also all questionable. Look, the bottom line, I served as a federal prosecutor, is that prosecutors have to be measured, they have to be appropriate at all times and not when they're up for election. And clearly this prosecutor was trying to prosecute 3 young men with very serious crimes without physical evidence, without DNA proof, with a very not credible witness, and everything that he did was far from measured. And clearly, if there was a breach of any duty, if there was intentional infliction or negligent infliction of emotional distress, there would be a civil action that the 3 young men can bring. And not only is the bar or the ethics of this attorney, this prosecutor, at issue, but the criminal charges can be leveled by the state. Whether or not the federal government would get involved as a message to prosecutors throughout the nation, because this is such a sensational case, is another question. But there has been collateral damage on this case.
If Naifong does not get disbarred as a result of the ethics charges that he is facing, he's got a trial on that in June. If he does not get disbarred, are criminal charges against him more or less likely?
I think that they stand separate and apart. Ethics obviously is something that should be incorporated to everything, but if he had a reckless a look at the facts and was trying to fit, if you can, a piece of a puzzle that didn't deserve to be there, or he negligently knew certain information, he could be brought up in criminal charges. Look, I believe, bottom line, that he has crossed the line ethically. A prosecutor should not be speaking to the press, should not be calling out and screaming their guilt without evidence, and certainly when he had exculpatory evidence proving their innocence, he should have given that forward.
Right.
So I believe he is vulnerable, and I think that these 3 young men have a very good lawsuit. The question is now, what evidence did he have and what process did he go by? Right,
and the other question, of course, is whether they have the desire to put themselves through even more legal battles. Mayor, thank you so much.
And will the DA look at this also? You know, will the DA look at their internal controls?
Got to leave it at that because we're out of time, Mayor. Thank you so much for your thoughts.
From Florida now, the guy behind girls